This program is aimed at bringing to the doorstep of viewers the business, financial, and economic activities from all strata of society. Its delivery is instituted through the various stock exchanges across the world. News about government economic activities, private sector business activities, laced with expert opinions, stakeholders, analysis, and correspondence reports. Today on ATM Business. On the stock market, market capitalization hit 58 trillion naira. Appropriation bill, President Tinubu submit FCTA 2024 budget to the House of Reps. On automobile, FG is set to set standards for CNG vehicles. And on aviation, FG commenced dialogue with aircraft lessors. Administration, Nigeria will secure Gulf of Guinea, Tinubu to Equatorial Guinea president. This and many more we intend to bring your way.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATM.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
you human trafficker.
Honorable
ATM Business. The bullish trading on the Nigerian exchange extended to its 7th consecutive day on Tuesday, taking the market capitalization to a new height of 58.53 trillion naira. The all-share index ticked up by 1.45% to close at 103,524.44 points, a milestone it surpassed in February before the market retraced its steps following sell pressures amid high yields in the bond market. The market bullish trend comes ahead of the February Consumer Price Index for February, which will be out this week and may influence the Central Bank of Nigeria next Monetary Policy Committee meeting. The market movers were Transcorp, Access Holdings, and Guaranteed Trust Holding Company, reflecting a similar pattern to Monday's trading. The total number of gainers stood at 35, led by United Bank of Africa, which gained 10% to close at 25.30 naira. MTN Nigeria advanced by 9.98% to 243.50. Tantalizer dipped by 7.89% to 0.35. Nascon Allied Industries, whose investors have been offloading the shares in days, declined 6.77% to 53.70 naira. And Morrison Industry PLC lost 6.62% to close at 1.141 to top 11 other losers. Investors traded 565.79 million units of shares valued at 14.23 billion naira, exchanged in 11,519 deals. President Tinubu submit FCTA 2024 budget to the House of Reps. President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday submitted the 2024 budget for the Federal Capital Territory Administration to the House of Representatives for consideration and passage. The president later seeking the passage of the budget, which was read on the floor of the House during the plenary session on Tuesday, was silent on the estimate. The letter reads, in line with the provisions of Section 121 and 299 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, as amended, the Honorable Minister of Federal Capital Territory has prepared the 2024 budget proposal of the FCT, which is hereby before you for the consideration and approval by the National Assembly. The proposal has been prepared on the basis of the FCT revenue and expenditure focus and is in line with the fiscal development policy of the federal government and the Renewed Hope agenda. In addition, the budget proposal takes into consideration the 2024-2026 economic recovery and growth plan, as well as key assumptions in the budget of 2024. The FCTA is prioritizing improvement in healthcare services, job creation, youth empowerment, and increased productivity in agriculture in order to lift many citizens as much as possible out of poverty. I hereby forward the 2024 statutory budget proposal of the FCTA, and I trust that it will receive the kind consideration and expeditious approval of the House of Representatives. Please accept the assurances of my highest regards. After reading the letter, the Speaker, Abbas Tajuddin, who presided over the plenary, directed that the request be forwarded to the Committee on Appropriation for deliberation ahead of his budget passage. The House of Representatives approved a 579.69 billion budget for the FCTA in 2023. The National Automotive Design and Development Council has announced plans to validate its national occupational standard for the conversion and maintenance of electric vehicles and compressed natural gas vehicles. The Director General of NADDC, Joseph Osanikwe, disclosed this during the validation workshop exercise for the draft of the national standard for auto gas vehicles in Nasarawa recently. He stated that the primary objective of the workshop was to develop a blueprint for skills development and standardized operational procedures in the conversion, calibration, and maintenance of the new automotive energy sources, aligning with the government Renew Hope agenda. Osanikwe noted that upon approval of the draft by the National Assembly to facilitate job creation and reduce greenhouse gas emissions, as ongoing plans include the establishment of more CNG gas stations in Abuja. He said, if we achieve what the federal government wants us to achieve with auto gas, it will reduce the dependency on PMS and diesel and mitigate environmental concerns. It will also create more jobs and wealth for the nation. According to Osanikwe, the essence of the workshop was to ensure that the input of all relevant stakeholders was captured in the making of this national document. He added, this is in line with international best practices. It is expected that the document will come out of this effort, international standard, and help to drive the auto sector to global standard. He emphasized the significance of the Nigerian Automotive Industry Development Plan 2023 to 2033, relaunched by the federal government in 2023, aimed at revitalizing the automotive industry and fostering sustainable growth through technological and skills development. The federal government has said it is currently discussing with aircraft leasing and manufacturing companies in a move to stimulate local investment in the country's aviation sector. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, disclosed this information in a statement released on Tuesday evening via X, formerly Twitter. Keyamo said the significance of aircraft leasing, especially dry leasing, was a key factor in enhancing the operations of local operators in the airline industry. He mentioned that the major airlines worldwide relied on dry leasing, as no airline or government could fully afford to purchase its entire fleet of aircraft. The minister stated that the establishment of maintenance, repair, and overhaul (MRO) facilities will propel the growth and efficiency of Nigerian aviation industry. Keyamo mentioned outgoing effort to attract investors for these facilities, acknowledging the importance in bolstering the aviation sector. We are determined to go far and wide to aircraft leasing companies and aircraft manufacturers to come to our aid. There is no shame in doing this now, since we lack the capacity to produce our own aircraft or to purchase them, said Keyamo. Further, the Minister Keyamo urged the government to provide an enabling environment that will allow potential foreign investors to thrive. He noted, should the government completely abandon local operators to fend for themselves, what can the government do to help in this regard? It is simple. The government should provide the enabling environment for these businesses to thrive by providing assurances to aircraft manufacturers and leasing companies around the world that their aircraft are safe within the country if they lease them to our businesses here, that include assurances and guarantees that these creditors can secure the asset anytime there is a default. This is in line with the Cape Town Convention, to which Nigeria is a signatory. It is our duty as a government to provide this comfort and assurance to the potential leasers. We are currently on top of that, and the package will be revealed soon. The lack of this one is a big factor that has led to the high mortality rate of airlines in Nigeria in the last 40+ years. There are other. The International Labour Organization has called on government to implement policies that will guarantee labor rights and social protection of domestic workers. The ILO, in a report titled From Global Care Crisis to Quality at Home, the case for including domestic workers in care policies and ensuring their right at work, says that the domestic workers played an integral and increasing role in care provision but lack access to social protection. It urged government workers and employees to ensure domestic workers have access to labor rights and social protection. This comes at a time of growing global demand for paid care, with an increasing number of countries facing a crisis due to large unmet care needs and aging population. The ILO stated that the women accounted for 3/4 of the 75.6 million domestic workers globally. Given the disproportionate presence of women, the rights of domestic workers are key to the achievement of gender equality. In the face of significant labor shortages, countries are looking for quality to attract job seekers. It explained that domestic workers hired either directly by a household or through a public or private service provider play an integral role in care provision. Even when only counting those employed directly by household, domestic workers account for at least 25% of all paid care workers, including nurses, teachers, doctors, and personal care workers, the report further stated. It further said that the share of domestic workers among care workers was as much higher in countries with little investment in the care sector. Yet domestic workers often do not have access to labor rights and social protection, and they lack access to care rights and services for themselves and their families. For instance, maternity protection, child benefit, child care, and long-term care services, the report said. It noted that those gaps in protection and access to services were more pronounced among domestic workers who face multiple forms of discrimination based on migration status and ethnic or indigenous origin. The ILO projected that by 2030, 1.9 billion children under the age of 15 and 200 million older persons at above the age of healthy life expectancy will need care. Stakeholders are protected that airfares for domestic travel will remain because of operators' rising operation costs. In a chat with newsmen, they pointed out that airline operators were contending with various economic factors, such as increasing fuel costs and operational expenses. The General Secretary of the Aviation Roundtable, Olumide Ohunayo, told the media that although there had been a decline in air travel lately, airlines have not lowered ticket prices. He explained that fears were determined by market dynamics, influenced by factors such as inflation, the naira to dollar exchange rate, and operational costs. He said there has been a decline in the number of passengers, but this has not prompted airlines to reduce air ticket prices. With the version of the naira and other cost components, along with inflationary trends, it is very difficult for the airlines. What they would do is cut down their frequencies until the market booms again. People would rather ship cargo or send money than travel due to the cost. Corporate travels have decreased, while most operators are declaring losses. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, the cost of air travel increased by 11.01% in November compared to the same period of the previous year. In February, former president of the National Association of Aircraft Pilots and Engineers, Sherry Carey, warned that aviation fuel prices will remain high as long as the product was imported due to the exchange rate. Currently, aviation fuel, also known as jet fuel, is selling for 1,200 naira per liter in Lagos, compared to 250 naira in the same period last year. In 2022, the aviation sector reportedly incurred $192 billion operating costs, as indicated in a report by Philip Consulting Limited. The Chief Executive Officer of Central Security Limited, Captain John Ojikudu, noted that aviation fuel accounted for approximately 60% of airline operational costs. Ojikudu told the media that with the current price of aviation fuel, air ticket for local travel will cost as much as 140,000 naira. He recommended the resumption of local manufacturing of aviation fuel to alleviate the impact the scarcity was having on both operators and passengers. President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday said his administration reaffirmed his administration commitment to securing the Gulf of Guinea. Tinubu said this when he received the special envoy of the president of Equatorial Guinea, Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo, at the State House in Abuja. A statement signed by his special advisor on media and publicity, Ajurin Gilale, explained that Tinubu was responding to a request for a state visit from President Mbasogo, presented by the special presidential envoy and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Simeon Oyone Esone Angoe. The minister is titled, Nigeria reaffirms commitment to enhancing maritime security in Gulf of Guinea. Mbasogo had emphasized the need to develop the Nigerian Equatorial Guinea Joint Commission. He also harped on the importance of fostering greater cooperation in various sectors, including oil and gas and trade. Responding, Tinubu reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to enhancing maritime security and safety in the Gulf of Guinea, said Ngilale. He highlighted the long-standing bilateral ties between Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea, describing the relations as strong and brotherly. Nigerian leader recalled his previous meeting with President Mbasogo, during which they discussed strategies for enhancing economic relations, particularly in the context of ocean and marine economy, and collaborating to address the challenges posed by climate change. Tinubu expressed confidence that the former meetings between the two nations will lead to further strengthening of their relationship. He said Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea are brotherly nations and we enjoy very long-lasting mutual relations. I'm sure when next we meet formally, usually between our countries will grow from strength to strength. Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea share a common maritime boundary linked by close exclusive economic zones. Both countries have in the past established partnerships primarily focused on energy cooperation, maritime security, and economic diversification. The relationship is largely linked to their status as significant oil producers in Africa, leading to collaborative effort in ensuring regional energy market stability. Both countries have also joined forces to tackle maritime security threats, such as piracy, to protect their economic interests in one of the world's most challenging maritime environments. In April 23, former President Muhammadu Buhari has attended the third extraordinary session of the Assembly of Head of State and Government of the God of Guinea Commission, convened by President Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana. As one-time chair of the Assembly, Buhari had championed collective effort by member states of the region, the Economic Committee of West Central African State, the Economic Committee of West African State, the Gulf of Guinea Commission, and their partners to address and prevent piracy. In June 2019, Nigeria's 10th National Assembly passed the Suppression of Piracy and Other Maritime Offences Act 2019, which aims to prevent and suppress piracy, armed robbery, and other unlawful acts against vessels. Moving on now to aviation. Global flight passenger demand measured in revenue passenger kilometers was up by 16.6% in January 2024, the International Air Transport Association has disclosed. The IATA in the report released on Wednesday said the figure indicated a robust start of the year. According to the report, a 20.8% surge in international demand was noted, along with a 20.9% increase in capacity. The load factor reached 79.7%. Domestic demand showed a 10.4% rise, increasing by 4.6%. And of course, the Director General of the IATA, Willie Walsh, said 2024 is off to a strong start despite economic and geopolitical uncertainties as government look to build prosperity in their enemies in the busiest election over the year. They must see aviation as a catalyst for growth. Increased taxes and onerous regulation are the counterweight to prosperity. We will look into government for policies that help aviation to reduce costs, improve efficiency, and make progress toward net zero CO emissions by 2050. According to the report, African Airlines observed an 18.5% increase in traffic in January 2024 compared to the previous year. January rose by 19.2%, resulting in a silent decline of 0.4 percentage point in the load factor to 73.3%, the lowest among all regions, it added. IATA said the growth in domestic demand remained driven by China, where there was robust demand for Lunar New Year travel, likely boosting traffic in February as well. Chinese carriers reported by increasing capacity, particularly through the development of wide-body jet, the report added. The Kwara State Internal Revenue Services has said that the existing tax laws in the state do not allow payment of personal income tax through associations, unions, or umbrella groups representing business owners in the state. The executive chairman of KWIRS, Mrs. Shade Omoni, said in a statement she signed and made available to our correspondent on Monday, our taxpayers are once again reminded that in accordance to Section 54, Subsection 1 of the Personal Income Tax 2011 as amended, which mandates every taxable person in the state to be assessed individually. Upon expiration of the time allowed to file a return as mandated by Section 41 of the Act, we are not allowing the payment of personal income tax or its equivalent through any existing or prospective association, unions, or umbrella groups presenting artisans or business owners, she said. The KWIRS boss noted that the Revenue Service has observed that compliance with payment of personal income tax was low. We observed the improved level of tax compliance in the state and the growth in the number of taxpayers over the years, especially among low-income earners. We truly appreciate our soldiers, stakeholders for their continued support and commitment to the revenue drive in the state. Nevertheless, the state service has observed the compliance level is low for some of the high net worth individuals within the state. Taxpayers, particularly HNIS, are reminded of their right to submit objections to the assessment represented to them as stated in Section 58 of the Personal Income Tax 2011 as amended by the Finance Act 2019 and 2020, which is then subject to review. Omoni also urged taxpayers to pay all tax liabilities and tithes filed in their tax returns. And that's the size of our package for the business news today. We hope to come back your way again with more business news. Please don't forget that ATM Business Live is on Atlantic Television Network Mondays to Fridays, 3 to 4 p.m. You can also make any inquiries on all the details showing on the screen. Remember, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thanks for watching. I am Treasure Timidari.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains,